and welcome to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. I'm Allison Donnelly. According to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, hypoxia conditions in the Chesapeake Bay were much better than average this summer, the second best on record since 1985. Hypoxia, or the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water, is one of the most important habitat conditions because most aquatic life requires it for survival. Though hypoxia is driven by natural factors, it is made worse by nutrient pollution or excess nitrogen and phosphorus in the water. DNR attributes some of this year's conditions to Chesapeake Bay restoration efforts to reduce pollution. A vehicle fire is under investigation by the State Fire Marshal. The Nottingham Road fire was reported by a passerby at 1 a.m. this morning and quickly brought under control by the Singerly Fire Company, but not before it did an estimated $10,000 in damage. No injuries were reported. And last Tuesday, a state trooper and a driver he had pulled over escaped injury when a southbound tractor-trailer left the roadway and struck both the police vehicle and the driver's car. The driver of the tractor-trailer, identified as Delvon Crosby, 45, of Baltimore, was killed as his truck overturned on the right shoulder. All lanes on southbound I-95 at mile marker 97 were shut down for several hours due to the crash. The Cecil County Democrats Club will celebrate the grand opening of its new headquarters this Saturday, August 18th at 10 a.m. The new location is on Bridge Street in Elkton, across from Pat's Pizza. Finally, gnomes, fairies, and ordinary folk gathered in Northeast this past Saturday to participate in this year's Unicorn Quest. Organizer Christy McDevitt took a moment to talk to Cecil TV.
Hi guys, we're out here at the 2018 second annual Main Street Unicorn Quest. It's basically a little scavenger hunt that we put together here in downtown Northeast on Main Street, and we've got a real unicorn down at Northeast Chocolates. We've got moon bounce, face painting, hair glitter, bubble art, all the things that you can imagine, all unicorn, all mermaid, and it's been a ton of fun. A little hot, but we're having so much fun, and we hope to see you guys next year.
Despite the heat, it seems that everyone had a great time. We can't wait till next year. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
The Cecil County Department of Emergency Services has recently launched a new community notification system called Code Red. Deputy Emergency Manager Michelle Lloyd is here to tell us all about it. Michelle, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Allison.
What is Code Red?
So Code Red is our new mass notification system that is a countywide program. What it is in the event of an emergency, such as a hurricane, a blizzard, or even, God forbid, the active shooter, I'm able to push out a message to the entire county to warn them so they can prepare and respond to for any event that happens.
How does it work when someone signs up? How do they?
So when they sign up, they can be notified via email, a voice phone call, a text message, a mobile message, cell phone call, or through the app, and we also have TTY capabilities. So on my end, what I do is I input the information to the system and it pushes it out simultaneously to all the callers, whether it's in a specific area or to a targeted population.
When someone signs up, do they have the option to sign up for particular types of alerts, or is it you sign up and you get everything?
They can, if they go to our website, which is www.ccdes.org, they can click on the link and they can choose what notifications they want, or they can just receive all the alerts. That also gives them that option to opt out of it and remove themselves if they don't like it.
So people sign up through the website, and it's as simple as, I did this yesterday actually, it's as simple as entering your name and your phone number, right?
That's correct. You can also add your address in there as well if there needs to be a specific notification for an area.
Oh, okay.
Such as in the community of Conowingo, Calora, and Rising Sun because of Peach Bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Why is it important that Cecil County residents take advantage of this service?
Well, it's important on a couple levels. One, we know that the traditional telephone landline is going away, and we're becoming a more mobile community. So people are carrying cell phones with them everywhere, every day, every time. So it's important that we have the ability to get a hold of them if there is an emergency that we need to prepare them for and warn them for it. So it's really important that they sign up for it. Now, we did transition from our previous provider, which was Regroup. So if you were already signed up with Regroup, you're already in our new system. But for people who haven't been in Regroup or new to the area, we certainly encourage you to sign up with Code Red.
That's great. So if you're interested, and I hope you are, signing up for this service, go to the Cecil County Department of Emergency Services website, which is ccdes.org.
Correct.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the Reader Services Librarian for the Cecil County Public Library System. And today I'm reading Bloodsworth by Tim Junkin. It's the true story of the first death row inmate who was exonerated by DNA evidence. Kirk Bloodsworth was sitting on death row in the state of Maryland when he heard about this new thing called DNA fingerprinting and thought that it might be able to help his case. And so he is the first person who was exonerated by DNA evidence, and it happened in the state of Maryland. And it was a breakthrough event for criminal justice, and it's a really fascinating account. It is also the selection for this year's One Maryland, One Book, which is an initiative started and funded by the Maryland Humanities. They encourage everyone to read one book throughout September and October. And these discussions are held at libraries, at schools, online, and we are also participating. We are going to be having discussions at 6 of our branches, as well as online on our Facebook readers group. And the online discussion will be happening Sunday, September 30th at 7 p.m. All participating branches who are doing the book discussion have copies of the book available right now for you to pick up. Supplies are limited, so if you want a copy and you want to attend one of the discussions, it's in September and October, you can stop in. If you don't want to read a print book and you have an e-reader, there are e-book copies available on Hoopla. And as you know, Hooplas are on-demand service, so you can download the book without waiting, and you can check it out instantaneously to your phone or your tablet. And also on Hoopla, the 2016 documentary about this case is available to stream as well. If you're interested in learning more about DNA or true crime, Mike Dixon will be talking about cold cases in Cecil County at the Perryville Branch Library on Tuesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. So he'll be talking about crimes that happened in the 19th and 20th century in our community and how it affected the local community and how law enforcement were able to find who was responsible for the crimes. And that'll be really interesting. Again, that's Tuesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. at the Perryville Branch Library. So if you want to sign up for one of these events, you want to check out the book discussion dates, you can stop in your local branch, you can go online at cecil.ebranch.info and check our calendar, or you can give us a call at 410-996-5600 extension 3, and we'll be happy to help you. So happy reading.
Health Officer Stephanie Garrity has led the Cecil County Health Department for the last 10 years. She announced her retirement this month, and she has agreed to join us in the studio to reflect on the past 10 years and look ahead to the future. Stephanie, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Allison. It's great to be back.
So, can you talk a little bit about the greatest achievements and challenges over your past 10 years?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I think one of the health department's most important achievements over the last 10 years was receiving National Public Health Accreditation. Mm-hmm. This was a voluntary process that put in play many procedures, processes, and putting together rules, documentation, things of that nature to show the national accreditation body that we have raised our standards to their level to become a high-performing local public health department. Things such as putting together quality improvement processes, standardization, things like that, I think showed that we reached that level, and one of the few in the state of Maryland that has done that. I think there's only 7 accredited health departments in the state of Maryland right now, and I believe less than 300 nationwide. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. And it was a Herculean effort. The staff really bought into the philosophy, and many of our partner agencies helped us along the way. So we're very, very pleased with that outcome. And we hope that that accreditation will afford us the opportunity to compete for funding in the future. We understand from many of the federal agencies that offer funding to local health departments that it's important to have that national accreditation to be considered for funding opportunities. So we definitely wanted to get involved with that.
So how would you say that that accreditation, how does the average Cecil County benefit from that?
That's a really good question, Allison. And I think one of the primary reasons that we decided to do this was to make sure that the quality of the services that we're delivering to the people of Cecil County are in fact quality and are based on science and offer best practices. Our funding is precious, and we wouldn't want to spend that money on programs and services that are not effective. So I think that's one way in which accreditation has helped the people of Cecil County.
Talk about some challenges that you faced.
I think I'll combine that answer with what the future may look like, if I may. Okay. I think one of the challenges of local public health departments and Cecil County Health Department over the last years is defining its role. I think for many, many years, local health departments across the country have been a gap filler. What I mean by that is if there was a lack of primary care docs in the community, the health department may have stood up a clinic to provide that kind of care. That has changed considerably with the Affordable Care Act. More people are insured. There are providers expanding care because reimbursement rates are getting better. And the role of the local health department is not so much, it's not needed so much as a direct care provider. Although we still provide some direct care, particularly regarding communicable disease outbreak as well as sexually transmitted diseases and things of that nature. But our role is changing, and we have to define what it is we're doing. So I look at my role, and I hope the new health officer will look at his or her role as a chief health strategist, someone who looks at the data, defines what issues the county is facing in terms of quality of health and well-being of the community, and then pulling together partners, funding to make those positive changes to improve health outcomes in the community. So, and many local health departments are struggling with that right now, but I think we're very well positioned to continue to fill gaps as needed, but to continue to play that role as planner, strategist, and partnering.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this time where we have an opioid epidemic, what advice would you give to your successor?
I would tell my successor to keep fighting the good fight. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. This took years to develop. it will take years to correct or fix. I would encourage my successor to encourage the community to keep an open mind, to embrace addiction as a disease and not a moral failing,
Right.
and to try everything that science recommends. Throw everything you can at the issue, both from a prevention perspective, treatment, recovery support, and public safety perspective.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And
You're
thanks
welcome.
for your service.
Oh, thank you very much, Allison. Appreciate it.
In June, retired Maryland State Trooper Frank Esposito announced his run for a state senate in District 35. District 35 includes northeastern Harford County and western Cecil County. In November, Frank will face Libertarian Chris Randers Pearson and Republican
Jason Gallion.
Jason Gallion, thank you, who was the successor to late Senator Wayne Norman when he passed away in March. Frank, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and honor.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a United States Marine, first and foremost, in 1981 and joined the Marine Corps. Then after the Marine Corps, I was stationed in Washington, D.C. under Ronald Reagan. And I was so impressed with the Maryland State Police when I was traveling back and forth to New Jersey. I applied for the Maryland State Police and was fortunate enough to get the job. I was there for 25 years, and most of my career was here in Cecil County and Harford County. And then I retired, waited 45 days, and was a glutton for punishment and joined the Maryland Transportation Authority Police for another 10 years. And I've been there since 10 years ago, in 2008. So 35 years in law enforcement with my military. I have 38 credible service years with the state of Maryland.
And why have you decided to run for state senate?
Well, I want to run for state senate because I have a particular idea that I want to try to propose to the General Assembly. And I have a platform that when I went around to talk to the people of Cecil and Harford County, they gave me some great ideas and what they want to see in the legislatures. So I'm trying to get in there. I'm very enthusiastic about our platform, and I have a lot of great new ideas, fresh leadership, and we're going to try to get down there and serve the people of Cecil and Harford County.
Okay, so if elected, tell us about some of those priorities.
Okay, well, some of the priorities, my first and foremost priority is school security. That's first on the, number one on the platform, is I want to have every single school in the state of Maryland armed with a school resource officer, including private schools. And I want to create new jobs for that. I want to create a separate force in the state, under the state police, and this is just a proposal. So we're going to create new jobs. We want the individuals that are involved with this trained with the Maryland Police Training Commission, and that will release the sheriff's deputies from that job if they so desire, or they can supplement it. And it will create jobs, and we will it'll be cheaper and be more efficient, I believe, in my estimation. Secondly, I want to attack the opioid problem. I was a member of the Cecil County Drug Task Force, Harford County Drug Task Force, DEA Task Force. I worked in Baltimore City, did a lot of undercover work, 6 years undercover. Was very successful in getting drugs off the street. I want to attack it in a comprehensive manner. I think I have a great plan for that. Third on the platform is our Second Amendment right. I want to resurrect our Senate Bill 99, which is Senator Norman's bill. And we want to, that's a carry and conceal bill. I believe our Second Amendment right has been trampled on personally. And I want to resurrect that bill in his honor and in his name. And I think that a lot of people want that and deserve that. I have other things too, as far as the property taxes are concerned. If you're 65 years or older and you live in your primary residence, you've been there for at least 10 years, you're up to date on your taxes, I think you deserve a 50% property tax reduction. I mean, you never owned your property, and you've been paying your taxes, and our seniors get limited income. You know what I mean? So I need a property tax reduction. I also want a lot of other funding for drug prevention, drug education in our school system, and for mental rehabilitation for our veterans. And also have a nice program I'd like to implement and propose for our veterans if they're in the GI Bill, if they serve. If they're in the GI Bill, and we like to match that $35,000 that they get for higher education.
Something that you hear about a lot is how our local representatives in Annapolis want to bring more funds back to Cecil County.
Yes.
How will you do that?
Well, you got to go down there and fight. There's a lot of money that's gets shuffled around down there, and then if you go down there and look, there's a lot of people that do get funding, and I want to make sure that that Cecil and Hartford County gets their fair share. You just got to go down there, and fight, make some friends, see what's available, and put a bid in and fight to death for it. And I'm the man for the job.
You're an independent. Where do you fall between the party lines, and how will you get undecided voters to choose you?
Well, I'm a conservative independent. I'm fiscally responsible. Mm-hmm. I think that the people actually looking for some kind of different type of a leadership. It's time that we put people over party and people over politics. I think if I go down there in the General Assembly and I can bring both parties together, and you got to be able to negotiate, you got to be able to make friends. Mm-hmm. I'm not a threat to either party. I want to bring both parties together, find common ground for the common good, and that's how I would conduct myself.
That's it? Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I just want to say that Cecil County deserves a Cecil County senator who lives here. We deserve a senator for Cecil County that lives here and works here. I've been here for 35 years. I love Cecil County. It's my home. And if Cecil County comes out and votes heavily, I think we can make a heck of a run. I love Hartford County. I worked in Hartford County also. My son's there with my 3 grandchildren, his wife, and have my extended family there. I also love Hartford County. I've worked many years there. And I think if I'm elected, if you give me the opportunity, I'll make the best of it. You'll be very proud.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm home! Wow, it's hot in here.
Grandma says call the Moon Man.
Moon Man, the AC is out and my family is melted!
At your service! There you go! Mission accomplished!
Thanks, Moon Man!
The house is nice and cool again. Moon Man, you're awesome. You're welcome. Just go to moonair8.com. For out of this world service, moonair8.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Charles. For 30 years, I have been practicing functional medicine and gentle chiropractic. Elkton Chiropractic Neurology is dedicated to enhancing whole body rejuvenation, whether or not you are afflicted with injury or disease. We utilize a structural, neurologic, metabolic, nutritional, and energetic approach to restoring your body to its full potential.
After coming to Dr. Charles, I'm better than I was before.
You deserve to feel good and to have an active lifestyle, so why not call Elkton Chiropractic Neurology today?
And now, 30 at 6. Would like to welcome 2 gentlemen who are involved in a wonderful collaboration, Joe Piner and Howard Eisenberg. Joe, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Okay, well, first, thank you for having us on your show. Me and Howard, we embarked on this documentary film about mental illness, and we're focusing on one fella in Cecil County in Elkton by the name of John Smith, and he goes by John the Human Studio. This film is focused on mental illness, but we decided to stay with John because he's so colorful in the town of Elkton, and from what I could see, everyone loves him. So we figured we could use John to help spread this information about mental illness. And Howard, I got Howard on board because Howard actually has a background in mental health. So I thought it was wise to get him on board with this film.
So, Joe, you're the cinematographer and you have your own company.
Yes.
And it's called?
Sin Focus and Media Productions.
And Howard, you have a background, I know, from your former work in
mental health and substance abuse treatment.
Yes, you had
Open Door Incorporated.
Right, sure.
And Family Services Association.
Well, I know, and from my experience with John Smith as a rapper, I know that he prides himself on all his raps have a positive message.
Oh, matter of fact, when I first started filming him, he said, when I rap, I don't do any cursing in my raps. He said he doesn't do that. And that's one of the things that struck me, but also how talented he was. Even with his difficulties that he's dealing with, he's talented in some ways. So that kind of struck me also.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, and it's not a long film, right?
No, we actually going to do about a 54-minute piece, because we'll have it somewhere around the area, depending on what TV production company we work with. It'd already be in that range of time.
And Joe, this is not your first cinematic effort, is it?
No, actually I've produced the latest 3 documentaries. One of the recent documentaries is called Electronic Crack Film, and that focuses on our addictions to cell phone and social media. And we just actually released that like 2.5 months ago. So we tour in the country right now screening the film, hoping for a distribution deal.
That's right on the money, electronic crack.
Yeah.
You see so many people, you just go anywhere and you see everybody's on their phones, they're running into each other. And I know myself, I left my phone for a couple of days, went on the road. I was okay with it, I was kind of liberated. But some people aren't that fortunate.
And that's one of the things we found out in the film, because a young lady in middle school, and she actually agreed to take a challenge of giving her social media and her cell phone up for just 2 weeks. And she said exactly what you said. She feels free. So, and by the way, there are addiction clinics for this, by the way. Electronics, gaming, cell phone, and social media addiction clinics.
So that kind of brings us back to your current film that you guys are collaborating on. What's the overall message? Reducing stigma, raising awareness of mental illness, and how people with mental illness can contribute and thrive even?
And then there's an aspect, and John is an epitome of this, is how music and movement and self-expression are really vital anchors to reality, let's say.
Right.
And sharing his talent with people. You and I have played in a band together that have backed him up.
Right.
We've had the pleasure of seeing him at work. Comes right out of somewhere, and he's amazing.
And you know, he's always the star of the show. So, you know, used to be Rappin' John, used to be John the Lyrical Magician. Now he's the Human Studio, and that's the name of the film.
Not only does he rap, he makes these sounds like, he says, listen, I'll do a supersonic boom, or he makes different sounds, and that's why he called himself the Human Studio.
Interesting.
And he really believes it.
Now, how can our viewers see this film? Where is it going to be? Is it going to be screened somewhere soon? Or?
Yeah, when we're finished the production, we're going to screen it, but we're looking at TV production. The other 2 films that I just released was theater. So we're actually looking for a TV production, hopefully PBS, Discovery Channel, or something of that sort.
Awesome. And what looms on the horizon?
You never know. Like, for instance, with John's documentary that we're doing about the mental illness, I was sitting in front of my mother's house, and there's John. I never really sit down and talk to John. So he's got the talking about his story, and a light bulb just came on. Why don't you make a documentary about mental illness? I don't see enough of it. I don't learn enough about mental illness. So, and like Howard said, we all know someone, even a family member, that suffers from mental illness.
Sure. Well, keep us posted. And if someone wanted to talk to you regarding your company or the film, how would they contact you, Joe?
Very easy. They could go to www.sinfocusmedia.net. Phone number is 302-229-4385. They can contact me there.
And that's Sin as in cinematic?
Yes.
Not as in
CINFOCUS. And I used the symbol N, Media Productions.
Awesome.
But as the website, it's all together, sinfocusmedia.net.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing it, and Howard, we look forward to hearing some music from you.
Thank you.